Today is January the 5th. Today we begin our study of the book of Psalms. This is the first Wednesday of the year. As I mentioned in the trainer, on Wednesdays, we'll take a look at Psalms and Proverbs. We'd like you to read Psalm 1 to 7 today. The only thing that I really want to mention are the first two Psalms. Psalm 1 tells us what the man of God is like. The man of God has joy. Psalm 1:1, oh, the joys of those who don't do these things, follow the advice of the wicked, stand around with sinners, or join in with mockers. In verse 2, rather, they have joy because they delight in the law of the Lord, meditate on it day and night. They're like trees planted along the riverbank, bearing fruit each season. Their leaves never wither, and they prosper in all that they do. The tree planted by a river gets its water from the river through its roots, so that tree has deep roots. Storms come and go. That tree is not moved. The wicked instead are like chaff, where a slight breeze will blow it away. That's what the man of God is like. The first psalm tells us to be that man. The second psalm tells us what God's king is like. Now, Psalm 2 tells us about the anger of the nations who reject this king, but we are to accept this king. In verse 6, I've placed my chosen king on the throne in Jerusalem on my holy mountain. In verse 7, the Lord said to me, you are my son. Today I've become your father. Only ask, and I will give you the nations as your inheritance. God gives his son, the king, the nations. And in verse 12, submit to God's royal son. Older translations translate it very literally, kiss God's son. God wants us to develop a relationship with his son. And most of Psalms tells us about two things: the evil in the world around us and how it impacts our life, and what happens if we seek out God, kiss him, kiss his son, and follow him. Today, as you read through the first 7 Psalms, think about what's going on around you. Do any of these words speak to you today? Commit those things to the Lord. Kiss his son. Receive his joy. Like, follow, and subscribe to this devotional, whatever platform you used to listen to it. Tomorrow, we'll begin to look at the story of Jesus. Where does that start?